I wanted to say a few things about Revelation chapter 2 and 3, the 7 churches. I've had quite a few people have made some comments about those churches recently, and especially in light of my view of the Catholic Church and the Universal Church, and that all of the churches in Scripture are always local churches. There is a church in Thyatira, there is a church in Pergamos, there is a church in Sardis, and there is a church in Ephesus, and you go through the Scriptures. Churches are always local assembled bodies of believers. So I've had a few Catholics who've taken exception and have actually quoted the 7 churches of Asia in Revelation as being proof of that the Catholic Church is the one true church. And a YouTube follower friend of mine wrote back and said, well, the church at Thyatira is definitely the Catholic Church, which I thought was an interesting thing. Now he's speaking about, he's taking my side, he's supporting my position as he said that. But I just thought that was an interesting thing, the different ideas that people have about those 7 churches. So 3 things I'd like to share with you. First of all, there were 7 literal churches in Asia. And so when John is writing that, he is writing to 7 literal churches. There is a church in Ephesus, and a church in Pergamos, and a church in Thyatira, and a church in Philadelphia, and a church in Laodicea, and so forth. And really the only way that we can actually use that passage accurately is to speak of those 7 literal churches and the events, the things that were happening in those 7 literal churches. There are lessons that we can learn from the experiences, the challenges, both the strengths and the weaknesses in all of those churches. There's also, I think, the possibility of using it to kind of typify what churches of all ages have gone through. And so my church in Puyallup may have experienced situations that were similar to what was going on in Philadelphia, or situations that were similar to what was going on in Thyatira, or situations that were similar to things that were going on in Ephesus. And so it can be a lesson that way. It's not infallible to use it. It's not infallible when we take a passage of Scripture and spiritualize it or use it as a picture or representative. We have removed the infallible part of it, and we have placed our fallible, corrupted concepts into it. And there may be some lessons there, but we can no longer call it infallible. And then a third way that it is often used with the 7 churches, it's been pictured, the book of Revelation is a symbolic book in so very many ways. And so some people have said that what the 7 churches do is they represent 7 church ages. And so and they would especially say, so the final one, the Laodicean period is what they would call it, might be what we're getting into right now. We went through a period of revival. That would have been the Philadelphian period, and we've got a period of revival. Some people say that happened through the 50s, 60s, and into the very earliest part of the 70s was a period of revival. And now we're moving into a period of lukewarmness, and when the Lord is about to come back for us. I did appreciate my friend's conclusion in his statement about the Church of Thyatira. He said that Jesus did leave an exception clause. He gave himself in every group, in every period, in every church, no matter what might be going wrong there. He has the ability to redeem and claim some who are faithful to him.